If you are watching right now, this is the replay. This is a custom order. I am doing the Denver backpack by Swoon. Welcome. Just gonna wait for all my TikTok friends to jump on. This is a custom order for Karen. Hey Lisa! Hey Janice! How are you guys? Hey! Hey Sarah! Hey Red! Red Tess? Hey Tammy! Hey Jessica! Hey Sasha! Hey Janice! Hey Tammy! Hey L Jackson! Happy Tuesday. I just like to see her on. Hey Tara! That reminds me, I need to message. Hold on one second, you guys. Okay, so today I am making the Denver backpack by Swoon. This is a custom order for Karen. Hi! Patrina? It was busy. Last week was crazy. We had a change of command ceremony. We had an org day. We had the 4th of July. We had these are like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then Friday we had some people over for a cookout. Hey, Deanie! Okay, so let me jump right into it. This is a custom order for Karen. She ordered a wristlet, which I already made. This is the print that we're going to be using. She also ordered a backpack. So she wanted the flower garden print with the pink vinyl, pink coordinating vinyl, pink zipper, and then this really pretty sage squared interior. I do have one of these wristlets available, but it's in the lilac purple. I don't think I have one up there if you'd like to purchase one, but this is a custom order. Isn't it cute? So I'm just going to jump right into it. This backpack, let me grab this. This is the mini version, but she ordered a large. So this backpack has a zipper closure. There's also a clip that keeps it closed. There are 2 side pockets. So here's one, here's the other, and then when you open it up, there is a zipper pocket on the inside. I don't know if you'll be able to see it with the lighting situation. I don't know if you can see that. Probably not, but there's a zipper pocket on the inside. There you go. She also added a zipper pocket to the back of the bag. So normally it just comes with the traditional bag. I've added a zipper pocket to that. I did that offline just because I didn't want to mess it up being distracted. So let me show you guys the back. So here's the inside with the zipper pocket. I leave this pocket open. We're going to turn this bag right side out through this pocket. Just curious, is this your full-time job? Yes, this is my full-time job. And then here is the back. I've added a zipper panel with a zipper pocket, and then it goes all the way to the bottom of the bag. So it's quite a large pocket. All right, so I'm going to start with the side pockets. So these pockets right here are fully lined. Thank you guys. Alright, so let's start with those. I'm using zipper tape by Wawak. Let me get my pull added. Thanks, Suzanne. So So the first step is just to line the zipper up to the exterior. I'm gonna clip that in place and then sew it down. Hey! Hey Susan! Hey Susan Collins. Hey Susan Valles. I'm good. Alright, so let me cut straight my zipper. I'm going to hit the end with a lighter just so it doesn't fray. It kind of seals up that nylon. I know, it's going to be so pretty, right? So I'm just going to clip it all the way around. And then sew that in place. Then I'm going to grab one piece of lining. I interface, I'm not sure if the pattern calls for it, but I interface all of my pocket pieces with SF101. I just like the fact that it makes it a little bit thicker and it gives it a little bit more structure. And then what I do is just cut out one solid piece of fabric. I interface the entire piece of fabric and then I cut these out after doing that. That way you don't have to cut your fabric at an arc, cut your interfacing at an arc. It's just a big old rectangle. So that's how I do it. Alright, I'm gonna add one of these to the zipper and sew it down. Hey Tina. I feel like it's been a while since I've made this backpack. A couple months probably. Okay, so now I'm going to use that first set of stitching that I did when I sewed the zipper onto the exterior, and I'm going to go down probably about 1/8 of an inch. I'm going to open that up into a top stitch. And anytime I top stitch, I like to clip the pieces together the furthest edge away from the top stitch. So we're top stitching up here and I want to clip them together down here. And that just ensures that your pieces are lined up. Alright, so now we're going to do a top stitch. Here at work. Don't get in trouble. Okay. Top stitching is done. This is what, I don't know if you'll be able to see it. It's pink thread. There we go. That's the top stitching. That's what it looks like on the inside. Now we are going to attach it to the exterior. These pattern pieces look so funky. So that's this part of the bag, and then the pocket attaches to it. Let me find the right piece. Alright, so now we're going to attach the zipper to the main pattern piece of the bag. I don't know what it's called in the pattern. And then we'll sew that on. It's a backpack, yeah. Let me just mark where my zipper needs to end. Might be time for a new pen. So I clip the bottom part, I'm going to clip the top part and then meet in the middle, especially with this really big arc in the pattern piece. I like to make sure that it's clipped right. This is a custom order, so this one is not for sale. This is for Karen. All right, one more clip. Excuse me. So now we're going to sew it to the pattern. And then we'll add the other side of lining after that. Now just go nice and slow. Who is in my Facebook group and saw that leather wallet that I made last week? It may have been over the weekend. It turned out terrible. Okay, so that is sewn on, and now we're going to add another lining piece to fully line that pocket. You're sweet, Danny. It was tough. That was my very first time ever working with leather. I had to hand sew it. It was not fun at all. My hands were burning by the end of it. I don't think I went high enough. But I bought more leather, and I'm just going to keep practicing. Just like I tell you guys when you're, some of you, when you want to learn how to sew or you've tried a pattern and it just didn't come out great, you just got to keep practicing. And that is what I shall do. I think I spent like $400 on more leather and more tools. Thanks, Susan. Y'all are too kind. Okay. So I have my other lining piece clipped in place to the zipper, and I'm going to go ahead and sew that on. Doing the same thing, I'm going to use that stitch mark, and I'm going to go down about 1/8 of an inch. This is probably the tough, in my opinion, the toughest part of the bag. Just because of the angle. But just go slow. Thanks, Nina. Thanks, Dina. Yeah, this is the Denver backpack. Okay. Interior lining is attached. So now what I'm going to do is clip these two lining pieces together along with the exterior, and then just do a stay stitch just so I can take off these clips and they'll all be together. Just look at the wallet. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I gave it to my husband. He's using it right now. He's so sweet though. He said, just keep practicing. Okay. Zipper pocket on one side is all done. Now we're going to go ahead and do this on the other side of the bag as well. I'm going to just cut off this excess zipper. Cinch that zipper tape. I'm going to do it again on the bottom. So here is our pocket fully lined. And then we sewed the bottom of it so it's not open. So that's what it looks like. I'm gonna set this aside and do the same thing on the other side because again, this backpack has the zipper pocket on one and then on the other side as well. So this is the step that we just did. This is the mini, this is going to be the regular size. Thanks, Cindy. I think I got it from Joanne. The inside lining. I'm gonna cut the bottom of it so it's nice and flush. Hit it with the lighter. And then just start clipping it. How was everybody's 4th of July? Alright, zipper is sewn on. Now we get one lining. So one of the grip made that enlarged too. Cindy, the backpack? They enlarged the Denver? I mean, it's a big bag. I couldn't imagine it any bigger. Today on the 1st. Nice. That's crazy. I mean, okay. Hi, Caroline. I couldn't imagine sewing this bag any larger. But I guess to each their own. Alright, so here's the stitching. Remember, the first set of stitches is sewing the exterior to the zipper, and then the second set of stitching underneath that is sewing the inside lining. And then now I'm going to flip it over and do a top stitch. And again, I'm just lining up my pieces of fabric. It takes a little extra time, but to me it's worth it. Alright, there is our top stitch right there. And then what it looks like on the inside. And we're going to take the other exterior piece and then sew that on. Put that on the wall just so you know. Oh, thanks, Angela. Hey, Julie. Gonna mark where the zipper stops. Hi. Hey, Claire. Alright, that is all clipped in place. So now I'm going to sew that together, and that is how we attach our pocket to the main part of the backpack. I am obsessed with this vinyl. Obsessed. Make it hard for me to not put my name. Do it. Do it. I think I'm down to like a 10-week wait time, which I know doesn't sound like that great, but I think at one point it was like 16 weeks. So now I'm adding the other interior lining piece. Like I said, I clip it at one side, clip it at the other, and then just kind of meet in the middle. And then sew that on. All right. And then now I'm going to clip all 3 of these layers together. And then I'm going to do a stay stitch around the outside so that way I can take the clips off and I don't have to worry about my material shifting. Just make sure that when you do this, you want to make sure that you bring your pull to the inside before you stitch down, or else it won't be a happy day. I've done that before. A couple times, I'm sure. Extra zipper. Hit that with the lighter. Hit the bottom with the lighter. Alright, so here's our second panel with our pocket fully lined. So now I'm going to set this aside and work on the back. So the backpack is where our shoulder straps are attached. So it's attached a couple of ways. It's attached at the top, and then it's attached at the bottom with these little vinyl pieces. And then we have a grab handle at the top, so I'm going to be working on that next. Let's do the grab handle first. It's super easy. Let me get this wristlet out of the way. Let's put the zipper. Grab handle. I'm going to put 1/2 inch double-sided tape along the center. Let me mark my center. This pen is going to drive me nuts. There we go. And then I'm going to fold one side to that center line. Do the same thing with the other. And then fold it in half. And that way we have a finished edge all the way around. And then just sew it down. we can add this to the back. So this is going to be stitched like this on the back. I made some marks. I don't know if the pattern has a grab handle. I think so. I'm not sure. It's been so long since I've looked at the pattern. So I'm just making sure that these pieces line up with the marks and then stitch them down. So that's just stitched in place. When it's done, it's gonna go like that. So let's work on our straps. Hey Deborah. So the outside of this backpack is made with a vinyl or faux leather, and then the interior is a cotton that is lined with woven interface. I think I used Profuse on this. It's like SF101. Okay, let me grab my hardware. Thanks, Susan. All right. So with this, it's similar to that grab handle. We're going to fold one side in and then the other side in to the center. And then going to add it to the hardware, fold it over, and then we're going to sew it in place on the hardware. So I'll just add a couple clips and then do the same thing with the other one. How long does it take you to make? From cut to finish, almost 3 hours. But I cut it off live. I did a little bit of prepping, so doing the rest of it should only take about I think about an hour and a half. But it's a lot to cut, it's a lot to interface, so it's a tough pattern. All right, so here are our strap connectors, and then now I'm going to stitch up, across, and then down. I just use this piece of Peltex. When I'm coming down, my sewing foot is on the top of this metal bar, so I just tuck this underneath my sewing foot so it doesn't scratch up my vinyl. But that's what it looks like stitched on. And then I'm gonna do the same thing with the other one. Do I use the stabilizer on the bottom? No. Oh no, Deborah, I'm so sorry to hear that. Sorry, I missed a lot of comments. Yeah, it's the Denver by Swoon. Did I top stitch? Did I top stitch the pocket? Or the handle? I'm not sure what you were asking about. Handle's top stitched, and yes, the pocket is top stitched. That one is done as well. And then now what we're going to do is add our adjusters to the actual strap. This is nylon webbing. So if you think about like a seatbelt strap, it's similar material. It's really durable, but it's really soft. This isn't the same as the seatbelt webbing. It's a lot softer. But as far as the weave and the strength of it, it's similar to that. So what I'm going to do is sew one end to my adjustable buckle. I'm just going to sew a square. And then singe the ends of those threads. So that's what it looks like. It's just a square. And I'm going to do the same thing with the other one. What time do I normally come on? So my live days are Tuesday and Thursday. I live in Hawaii, so right now it's 10:30 a.m. in Hawaii. I usually come on around this time. Usually around 11. This is kind of an early one. And I also have a YouTube channel. My most recent TikTok lives, I add the replay to my YouTube channel, and then I do have some lives over on YouTube as well. So if you want to see those, all you got to do is click on the BB right here to get to my page. And then right underneath the follow button, there is an Instagram icon. If you click on that Instagram icon, you'll get my Instagram as well as my YouTube page. It'll take you straight over there. So this replay will be over there as well. Alright, so here's the other one. Now we're going to put it all together. I want to clip this pocket out of the way so I don't accidentally sew that down. I'm going to add my connectors. I transferred the mark from the pattern right here so I know where to place them. And then we're going to stitch those in place. And then now we're going to thread through our shoulder straps. So we're going to thread it through this, the bottom connector, making sure it's nice and straight, it's not twisted up, and then thread it through the adjustable buckle, and then sew it to the top. I like to fold it over just to give it a little bit more strength. I've seen, especially this kind of material, I've seen some people that have stitched it and it starts fraying and pulling away from your seam. And so in my opinion, folding it over and doing a stitch like this, it just reinforces it and makes me feel a little bit better. So that's how I do it. So here's one of our adjustable shoulder straps. And then we're going to do the exact same thing over here. I dropped it. So I'm going to take it, make sure it's nice and straight, thread it through here, and then attach it. So this will make the shoulder strap longer if you want more room in the back, or it will make it shorter. And again, I'm going to fold it over. And then I'm going to stitch them in place. Hi, I'm here just saying 20 gift bags. Oh, sewing 20 gift bags. Hey, Nicole. I'm going to sew on this side to make sure I catch this. So here is the back of our backpack with our adjustable shoulder straps. I'm going to set that aside. The next thing I'm going to work on is this little piece right here. So there's a zipper closure and then there is a clip at the bottom to keep this top part clipped down. I'm going to go ahead and work on this piece as well as this piece right here. Thanks, Stacy. Thanks, Cindy. All right, so here is our bottom. Gonna add some double-sided tape down the center. So if you don't sew, or if you've never sewn or never watched anybody sew, think about it, especially bag making, but in clothes too. Think of it as like a puzzle. So what you're doing is you're prepping all of your pieces and then you put all your pieces together, just like a puzzle. Don't overthink it. It's tough to learn and there's a lot of techniques to learn. It's very challenging, but it's also incredibly rewarding. I wish I had started sooner. All right, so I just stitch along the sides of each of these on each side, and then I'm going to add this to my D-ring and then just sew the bottom. And then set that aside. And then for the clasp, we have this funky pattern piece. I lined mine with Decaville Light. I just like the additional padding on the inside. Another layer, in my opinion, is usually best. I'm going to add 1/4 inch double-sided tape all the way around the outside. Got it sewing leather. Oh, that's awesome, Cindy. I sewed my very first piece of leather last week. I did hand stitching. It was terrible. But just like I tell all of you guys, just practice, practice, practice. So even though it turned out terrible, I'm just going to keep at it. This Decaville Light I ordered from Joann. We don't have a Joann here on the island, so I had to order it on the website. I just got a bolt of it. Alright, so there's just a piece of 1/4 inch double-sided tape all the way around. I'm going to remove the backing and then fold each side down. Yeah, I live in Hawaii. So I'm just going to fold it along the sides just like that. I'm going to put a clip in the corner. Okay. So we folded it all the way around just along that tape, and then that's going to give us a nice finished edge. And so I'm just going to stitch all the way around. I think I do this a little bit differently than the pattern. I think the pattern has you put this on the bag and then stitch it. I'm not sure. Can't remember. But this is how I've always done it. And then I secure it to the actual bag with rivets. I didn't back stitch when I started. Instead, I'm going to pull my thread through so I can knot them off. pull those threads through. And doing it this way, it just prevents a lot of layers of thread doing your back stitch when you start, back stitch when you stop. And this locks in the thread. Alright, so here's what we're looking like. It's just stitched all the way around. And then now I'm going to add my lobster clasp. And then we're going to fold it over. I'm going to clip it together and set it aside. This is one of the last pieces that we add to the bag once we're done. So I'm just going to clip it together and then set it aside. We'll do that later. Thanks, Cindy. You lost your sewing mojo. Good, I'm glad. Okay, so now we're going to do our zipper closure. On this bag, there is a zipper end up here, and then the other end of the zipper gets closed in that piece that we just made. So you can kind of tell it's a lot bigger. This is the mini. So I'm going to add my pull. Did you use pink thread or white pink? Yeah, this is pink thread. It's Gutermann. And the number, just in case you're interested, is number 66. That's the color of thread. Alright, so I've got my zipper here. Here are my zipper ends. We have one for the exterior, one for the interior. I'm going to line that up. Why does it look small? That's okay, it'll work. So I'm going to line my exterior on the right side or the zipper teeth, and then my interior is going to go on the back, and then we'll sew them together. I'm going to trim that zipper down just a little bit. Hit it with a lighter. Open up my two pieces and then do a top stitch. Thanks, Tess. Zipper end is all done. So that's what it's going to look like. Here is the interior. So we've prepped just about everything. Let me add our piece to the bottom. I don't think that it needs to be this big. So if you see this one, this piece right here, that's what I'm working with. That's what clips the top together. I don't think it needs to be that big. Let's see. Just going to line it up with that mark that I made on the back and then sew that in place. All right, that's all the prepping that we have to do. Now we're going to put all of our pieces together. This is the bottom of the bag. All right, so let's start with our zipper. I'm just going to take one of our exterior pieces. Remember, this is the one that we added our zipper pocket to. I'm going to line up my zipper along the top. And I barely got enough zipper. Thanks, Nikki. Thanks. 3 pup stitching. Gonna get my pull out of the way. All right. Zipper is sewn on, and then now I'm going to grab an interior piece. So the interior piece is the exact same size as the exterior piece, and it is lined with SF101 or Profuse. I think I use Profuse. So I'm going to lay that down along the top of the zipper and sew that on. Pull out of the way. And then we're going to open up and do a top stitch. So again, I like to clip my bottom pieces together. That just makes sure everything is nice and even when I top stitch. And then I'm going to stitch right underneath the zipper where the vinyl is. Is the top stitch. It's gonna be hard to see. It's pink thread. It's kind of easier to see on the back. All right, so here's one side of the bag. We're gonna do the exact same thing on the other. We're going to add the exterior and then the interior. So see how big this thing's getting? I can't imagine sewing this 1.5 its size. That would be crazy. Thanks, Vicky. Oh, thanks, Nikki. That was the exterior. So now both of our exteriors are attached to the zipper. This thing is massive. And then we're going to add the other interior side. Can't imagine. Yeah, I know. I would love to see that. I'm going to have to go into the group and see if I can find it. Pull out of there. And then now we're going to do a top stitch. So I'm going to clip these two pieces together on the bottom. You know, I don't interface the vinyl now. Thanks, Dina. My usual rule of thumb is the only vinyl that I interface are the bottom of my bags. I don't interface the bottom of this. This is the bottom, but you can, I just think, when I think of a backpack, I'm not thinking of a solid bottom because they're usually a lot more pliable. But like with this one, the bottom of this does have Peltex in it, and it just allows it to be a little bit more firmer. But I do not line the bottom of my backpacks. I'm actually going to take a couple of stitches out of here. I went a little bit too far up. Okay, top stitching is done. Now we're going to sew these two pieces together. Hi, Debbie. Thanks, Tina. Okay, so first what I'm going to do is sew this end of the zipper together. Next, what we're going to do is sew our exterior to exterior and interior to interior. I'll show you. So I'm going to grab my two outside pieces, clip them together, and we're going to sew the outside to the outside, inside to the inside. So I'm going to first just clip them together. It's a big backpack, I assure you. The horse bag. This one, I'm not sure if I have a matching wallet. Check my website. If you click on this BB here, it takes you to my TikTok profile. My website is linked right underneath the follow button. And when it takes you to there, you can shop by style and you can shop by print. So if you click on the menu with the 3 dashes, and shop by print and then go to animals, you'll see horses. So everything that I have in that print will be listed under there. I know I have one of these. I'm not sure about the wallet though. Hi, Debbie Lee. Okay, so it's clipped together. We're going to go ahead and sew along this straight way. So this way comes down at a diagonal. This one comes straight. This is the side that you want to sew. Just hold it. You can hold it. I should have cut that zipper, but it's not a big deal. Alright, then. Clip these threads, keep it clean. I'm going to go ahead and clip this excess zipper. This little extra. There we go. I'm going to singe that. Anytime you cut a zipper, it's just always a good idea to hit it with the heat. Seal that up. Okay. So what we did, this is going to become the front of the bag. This is front. This open place is the back of the bag. So now we're going to add the back. So I'm going to start with the interior. So this is going to be added to this right here, this open place right here. I like to use pins anytime I'm sewing anything that's not just a straight line. So this has a curve to it. I like to secure it in place with pins. Before I do that, there's a little step that I have to do. I've explained this before and I can explain it again, but it's a little bit confusing. So when I sewed my zipper on this zipper end, I did not sew all the way to the ends. And the reason for that is because we want to leave these two edges independent of each other. So if you notice when I top stitch my inside and outside right underneath the zipper, it attaches the inside and outside. I don't want the inside and outside attached at the top. And that's going to allow me to sew my exterior back independently of my interior back. If I sewed it all the way to the top, it would be like this, and I wouldn't be able to sew them independently. I know it's confusing. It might not make sense. I only mention that because I'm going to be adding this video to my YouTube. And so if anybody wants to make this bag and watch the replay on how I do it, that's the only reason why I'm giving these additional instructions. So now what I need to do is sew the rest of the top to the outside and then sew the rest of the top to the inside. So disregard if you're not sewing this bag. And the way you do this is really funky because there's limited space. I think you only have like maybe a ½ inch of space to work with. So just go slow. I'm going to do the outside first. I want to make sure all my interior is out of the way. What kind of material the bag's made from? A faux leather. The exterior is a faux leather and the interior is cotton. See how I want to do this. I'm just going to add a pen. Okay. Got it. Oh, my pen fell off. Okay. Got it. That's the least fun part of this bag. Okay, so now I'm going to add the back of the interior. Yeah, I made everything. Everything on my website I made. So I'm going to start with the center of my top, add a couple pins, and then I'm going to go ahead and start. These are straightaways, so I'm just going to add a couple of clips. The reason why I use pins is because when you're sewing with clips, you have to take the clips off in order to stitch down. And when you do that on a curve, sometimes your material, if it's lined up like this and you take the clip off, sometimes, especially when you're sewing a curve, they can shift. So to make sure that your seam allowance is perfect, especially on the curves, I just like to add pins. And then when I'm working with vinyl, you can't pin this, but I add a couple of staples. And then once I'm done sewing, because the staples, you obviously don't remove those when you're sewing. And then when I'm done, I just take the staples out. But again, it just keeps our 2 layers of fabric together so that we have the perfect seam allowance and our fabric doesn't shift. So just around the curve is where I add my pins and staples. Okay, so this side is pinned together, and then now I'm going to do the exact same thing over here. Ouch. I got hooked. I just set this on my lap. My website is butterbags.com. Did you miss much? Yes, we did. But we still have a little bit to go. The replay is going to be on my YouTube if you missed the first part. Or if you have to run and you want to watch the end. Hey Jennifer, it's good. It's still early here. It's not even 11 a.m. Yeah, the staple marks, if somebody was asking that. So if I sew, my pen's not going to work. If I sew right here, the staples are above that. So when I sew and then remove my staples, it's going to be what's called outside of my seam allowance. So the holes from that won't show. And I'll show you when I get there. All right, one more pin and then we're ready to sew this in place. Remember, this is the back of the interior. So we're all clipped in place, pinned in place. I want to make sure I don't sew over my pocket or get poked with pins. All right, so see how we're having to manipulate our curve? If I were using clips and I was pulling those off, my material would most likely shift. Which means that my interior will not line up with my exterior. But the straight way is when you're sewing. You hold the material down. All right, then. Get these pins out. Double check my seam, all good. I'm gonna do another little stitch on the top. There we go. So you see how the top of my interior is not attached to my exterior at all. So now we're going to do the same thing with the back of our exterior. So just like the inside, I'm going to line up the top first. Clip that in place. How many bags do you want to make a day? It depends. If I were to, because I do like wallets. Uh-oh. My little puzzle game. Why isn't it coming up? Okay. So I do like wallets and notebook holders and wristlets. I do a couple of different things a day. If I were to do a backpack, I could probably do maybe 3 backpacks in a day. But on average, I make about 7 items a day. That side is clipped in place. So I'm going to clip it in place first, and then I'm going to grab my stapler and add a couple staples. Alright, so that's what it looks like just clipped in place. Remember, our bottom is still done. Bottom is one of the last pieces that we add. Alright, so I'm just going to staple around the curved edge. I don't need staples on the straight edge because we don't have to manipulate the bag when we're sewing on the straight edges. So I just put them, right along the edge. I'm out of staples. I know I bought some refills. I don't know where they are. Let me use my little one. It doesn't matter what kind of stapler you use. This thing, man. I haven't used this one in years. Might need a tetanus shot after working with this old stapler. All right, one more. Okay, so as you see, these staples, this is probably easier to see. The staples are put right along the edge of it. So I'm going to sew well below that. So I'm not going to be stitching over my staples. And then once I'm done stitching, I'll just pull them out. But I'm the only one who struggles with staples and finding staples. These are like a dark blue. It's testing my hurting hands. It sure is. Alright, let's sew this up. I'm holding my lining out of my way so I don't accidentally sew that up. To do is go back over this right here is where the grab handle is stitched. This is where the grab handle is stitched. Here are where my other connectors are. I like to go over and just add an extra little stitch just to reinforce it, because the entire weight of your bag when you're holding it by the grab handle will be just on those two little pieces of vinyl up top, and then when you have it on your back, it's going to be on our connectors. So because the full weight of the bag will be on those just small pieces of fabric, I like to just reinforce them with another stitch. My thread just came out. take out my staples. I'm going to trim down these extra pieces. Get my staple remover. I bought a new staple remover. I had the one that you pinched and it came out. I bought this one like a week ago. I hadn't used it. I started using it yesterday. I love it so much better. I like to kind of twist it because when I was using it yesterday, like the staples were flying all over my room. All right, let me double check, make sure there's no more staples. No. We're good. Our seam allowance is perfect because we stapled. Okay, next we're going to add the bottoms. So we're going to start with the bottom of our interior. I'm making a backpack. I missed it, just joining. We're making a backpack. The replay will be on my YouTube later if you'd like to go back and rewatch it. Alright, so there's a straight way and then there is a curve to this bottom. So here's the straight way. I'm going to use clips on that and then I'm going to use pins on my interior around that curve. How many bags am I making a day? Like between 6 and 7. I'm gonna open up that side seam. Thank you. Yeah, this is my full-time job. I usually work about 10 hours a day. This does take a little bit longer pinning, but again, in my opinion, it's well worth it. Do you ever finish your day with an unfinished item? Yes. Yes, that happens. Like yesterday, I was making an Aries bag, which is this bag right here, this style. And I had gotten the entire bag made. I just didn't put my shoulder strap connectors on the bag. And that was like the last part. It was like a 5-minute job to finish it. And I just walked away. So yeah. I'm not like a I'm a perfectionist in my work. But like in my daily life, I don't have to have everything perfect. Thanks, sunshine. So we've got the bottom held in place. That's what it looks like. And then now I'm going to sew it down. Show my pocket, everything else is out of the way. There we go. My thread where I started. So you got to turn the whole back while you're sewing. So again, if you were just using clips, the likelihood of your fabric shifting out of place is very high, which is why I use the pins. Again, it takes a little bit more time, but in my opinion, it's well worth it. Yeah, I make clothes for myself, not to sell. This fabric got caught just a little bit right here. That's actually how I started sewing. I started sewing with clothes, and then I just moved over to accessories. There we go. Let me restitch that. Okay. Done. So the bottom is stitched on the inside. And then now we're going to do the same thing on the outside. Before I do that, I want to make sure that my zipper pocket is open. I don't think that it is. So the bag is going to be totally sewn inside out, and we're going to turn it right side out through this zipper pocket right here. So I want to make sure it's open. There we go. All right, let's add the bottom of the exterior. Hey, Just Mammy. I messaged you when I went live on Facebook because my phone I'm using that has your phone number in it. Sorry. Alright, I'm just sewing open my side seams. Can any sewing machine sew over pins like that? Yeah. You actually shouldn't sew over pins. I do. But they'll ruin them. Have a backup pin collection. What made I decide on accessories? I don't know. I think because it's kind of like a one size fits all, right? It's so different than clothes. I still sew clothes for myself, but I would never sell them to the public. I mean, think about every time you buy something online, the fit is always different. These, I can tell you what size it is, and that's the size. Alright, so I just sewed open my side seams. Going to attach my bottom and then clip it in place, and then we're going to staple around the curves. So I'm matching, I have a line down the center of my back as well as the bottom, so I'm going to match those center lines up. And just keep clipping. And this is like one of the last steps. I think the only other thing we have to do after this is just put on our clip for the front. And she is done. This is a custom order for Karen. I don't think she's on the live. She's been on vacation for a long time. Well, for a while. So she said her presence wasn't necessary. But I'm going to add this to my YouTube so she can watch the replay. All right. Oh, the Coffee Lola. That is a very popular print. I think I'm sold out of that. I've been sold out of that for a while. How do you come up with the name Butterbags? When I first started, I used a brand of leggings, a super soft brand of leggings. They were called Butter Soft leggings, and I used those and turned them into handbags. So because they were Butter Soft leggings, and I was making bags, I just called it Butter Bags. Look once more. I know I have some more staples. This little thing can't hardly hold any staples. That should be enough. So I'm just going to add some staples around the curve. Oh my gosh. So if you've never sewn before or watched anybody sewing, the preparation takes way more time than the actual sewing. Sewing is easy, but prepping everything, lining everything up, that actually takes, in my opinion, the most time. All right, a couple more. All right, what's done? Sewing zippers. It really depends on the type of zipper that you're sewing, right? You're sewing a exterior zipper, you're sewing an interior zipper pocket, you're sewing a zipper panel. I mean, there's different zippers. It really just depends on what you're sewing. But there is double-sided tape. I know a lot of people who are getting into sewing zippers, they like to use double-sided tape. That way your zipper stays in place. I'm going to take out these staplers and then we're going to turn it right side out. Let me get rid of some of these clips. Don't need those. Is Daphne still in here? The inside always makes me anxious. Don't. I like to make my zipper pockets like 7 inches, at least 7 inches long to give me plenty of space for turning. Hey, I meant to text you, but remember that thing I told you to remind me about on Friday? I remembered. So I'll message you about it afterwards. Okay. I'm gonna check my C, make sure I caught everything. Yep, everything looks perfect. So I'm just going to add another little stitch over this part right here, because remember, anytime we have something sewn in between our inside layers, I like to always just add another stitch. You did forget to remind me. You did, but I remembered. And then I'm just going to trim down this excess piece. Alright, we're going to turn it right side out. Dun, dun, dun. Let me get a sip of water. Alright. So from the inside pocket, going to start with my bottom exterior. Push that through. Grab it and pull it through, and then it's just a push in and roll. Did I miss showing the wallet you made? I haven't made a wallet with this one. This is just a backpack. And I know it looks like it's stressful, but it's not. I've never ripped a pocket doing this before. I'm just going to push out all of my seams. Have our back. This is the bottom. This is the back. She added a zipper pocket. This is a custom bag, so she added a zipper pocket to the back. I'm going to tuck this in. I'm going to sew up my zipper pocket, and then I'm going to try to get everything together. Alright. Oh man. Got right to the end, and I think I'm out of bobbin. I've got like a ½ inch that didn't get stitched on. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take it to my sewing machine right here real quick and just sew it up. I don't have anything else to sew, so I don't want to just do a bobbin. Alright. Then. Okay. Let me tuck this inside. tucking that pocket in. And zip it closed. So we have our pockets that we did in the beginning. This pocket. And then now what we need to do is fold down the top of this. And we're going to add our little clasp. This right here. And that's the last step. This bag is gorgeous. Look how pretty it is. Alright, let me get it together. Get my rivets. Get my press. It's beautiful. I'm so jealous. So what I need to do is make sure that my lining is in there and there's no folds. You want it to line up nicely. So you can see what I'm doing. I'm just making sure that my inside lining is not folded or not lined up. Alright, so I'm going to add a couple of clips. And then grab this little piece that we made earlier, line that up over that zipper. Make sure that it is centered. And then I'm going to add some rivets to keep it in place. I'm going to add a rivet right here and then probably one on each side. I don't know. My clip broke. Alright. I'm going to poke out my holes. Quite a few layers. Ah. Hey Steph, you are late. We're almost done. I don't know why that's not going in there. I think I'm going to need one more back. Okay, there we go. Let me put these up real quick. Set these rivets. And it is all done. So it just clips down here. We have 2 side pockets, fully lined, and it holds quite a bit on the side. So I know it'll hold a cell phone and then a couple of other things. They're pretty decent sized pockets. And you get 2, 1 on each side. And then she has a zipper pocket on the back, adjustable shoulder straps, a zipper pocket on the interior. Isn't it gorgeous? And a ton of space on the inside. I hope you love this, Karen. So she ordered a backpack as well as a wristlet. So here's the backpack. Here is the wristlet. So I'm going to jump off. My next live sewing is this Thursday. If you missed any of this video, or if you'd like to watch it again, or if you'd like to try your hand at the pattern, I'm going to upload this to my YouTube page. You can find that by just going to my TikTok profile. Under the follow button is my Instagram icon. If you click on that, it'll give you my Instagram as well as my YouTube, and you can go over there and you can watch other video tutorials. One last thing I wanted to show you, since I have one of these in stock. When I make these, they sell out so fast, and a lot of people ask about the difference in sizing between the regular and the mini. This is it. So the mini is definitely a lot smaller. You can still fit a lot in here, but the regular size is huge. Okay, I'm going to jump off, get some other stuff done. I might jump on a little bit later today, I'm not sure. But if you're following me on TikTok, if you click on the bell, it should notify you if I go back live. If not, I will see you guys on Thursday. Bye.